Today on the Philly Talk podcast, we got to break down training camp day 4, but there was something different about today. Oh yeah, the pads came on. It's back to smash mouth football in Philadelphia. Jalen Hurts looked great, connecting with a bunch of receivers, but we do got to talk about what Nolan Smith said about Nakobe Dean, and Slay versus Smitty was getting heated. A.J. Brown versus James Bradberry was getting heated. The defense did some good things, but ultimately, when first-team offense is out there, they are unstoppable.
This is Philly Talk with Philly Mike. Talking sixes in the bird gang, that's I like. Competition, we ain't scared, yeah, that's what we like. Win or lose, you know we showing up and we gon' fight. You see we strive for the sky every day that go by. And every single week we screaming fly, eagles fly. This is Philly Talk with Philly Mike, yeah. This is Philly Talk with Philly Mike, yeah.
What is going on, everybody? I go by Philly Mike, and this is the Philly Talk podcast, and today we got a lot to get into. The pads came on, no more playing around, but before we do that, Eagle Nation, can I ask y'all a favor? Help your boy out. Hit that like button, subscribe if you are new, and ding the bell. Don't be afraid to join notification gang so you get that ding like a text message when I upload or go live. A lot of good collabs coming up. But we got to talk about camp. Look at A.J. Brown going up over the top of All-Pro James Bradberry. The offense did what they did last year to all the teams they played. They dominated. There were some nice plays made by the defense, but Jalen Hurts is in his bag. He is threading the needle, putting the ball only where his wide receiver can get it, and we got some talented wide receivers. So let's see exactly what happened with A.J. Brown versus James Bradberry. First tweet is Jalen Hurts with a really nice pass to A.J. Brown along the sideline. About 15-yard gain. Put it where only he could get it. Really showed off their chemistry on this play. The next time he went to A.J. Brown in 11-on-11s was a perfect 40-yard touchdown pass. A.J. Brown over the middle. Brown beat James Bradberry. And for those who are worried about Bradberry, don't. We're talking about A.J. Brown, one of the best wide receivers in the game. The connection's there with Jalen Hurts. And again, it's practice, so the defense is probably letting up a little bit more because you don't want to injure your player or nothing like that. But we're not worried about Bradberry. A.J. Brown is going to do a lot of DBs dirty, for sure. But it's good to see Bradberry out there, Brown out there, iron sharpen iron, but you can really start to see the one-on-ones or the battles with the pads on. Now, let's look at Smitty real quick. A deep ball from Jalen Hurts before we see the tweets. Jalen Hurts drops back, looking, has time, one-on-one. Smitty versus Slay. The ball only where Smitty can get it. You see? Back shoulder pass. Slay has to really time that perfectly to even deflect it because the connection's there. Smitty understands. Hurts understands. Back shoulder. Shout out to Slay for staying with Smitty. Ball, perfect spiral. Back shoulder, too easy. Smitty don't drop no passes. And when you look at what Smitty can do running routes, you really don't understand how quick this guy's feet is. I think he got the quickest feet in the game going into year 3. Look at this real quick. Look at the feet. Again, the quickness, the perfection. Didn't even touch the ladder. Devonta Smith is going to be a menace for a long time, and he got to stay in Philadelphia. Let's look what he did in the 11-on-11's first padded practice. Elliot Shore Park says Jalen Hurts on the run finds Devonta Smith for about 20 yards down the field, led him perfectly over the middle to the sideline. And you know why I like to use Elliot Shore Park's tweets? Because he was Jalen Hurts' biggest critic. Biggest critic. If the dude didn't sit on the bench right, he was tweeting it last year. So I love that he has to tweet these amazing tweets. Anyways, first play of 11-on-11s, Jalen Hurts touchdown to Devonta Smith, only 3 yards out, probably working on the red zone threat. But you're thinking, red zone. You got Swole Batman, A.J. Brown. You got big boy Dallas Goedert. Nobody's thinking that the Slim Reaper's still going to get it from only 3 yards out, but I love the connection from both Hurts to Brown and Hurts to Smitty. It's only growing. Now, let's hear what Nolan Smith had to say on Nakobe Dean as the communicator, leader of this defense, and then we're going to hear what Hassan Reddick had to say about Nolan Smith.
Stay ready. You ain't got to get ready, man. My dog been ready. He been doing this since day one. I ain't worrying about that. I'm ready to follow him. People talking about he been the signal caller at Georgia for 3 years in a row, and I know how hard Coach Smart is on him, and I know what he expect from himself. You know, certain people hold themselves to a high standard, man, and he's an engineering major. So if you think his brain is worried about something like this, it ain't. And so I just say, man, when you a high standard person and hold yourself to a high standard, you know, people will follow behind you every day, and that's what Nakobe is for me.
That's what Nakobe is for him. He gonna follow Nakobe. When you are already ready, you don't have to get ready. I love that take. And when Hassan Reddick was asked about Nolan Smith, this is what he said. He has greatness ahead of him. This is Hassan Reddick's take on Nolan Smith. Greatness ahead of him. And I totally agree. We heard prior to the pads coming on, the Nolan Smith hype, the Jalen Carter hype, right? And it's going to continue. Nolan Smith was quick off the edge of the day. There were some one-on-one drills. Jalen Carter versus Tyler Steen. Tyler Steen did pretty good against him. Got to hear more about that. Nolan Smith versus, I guess, the rookie Chin Okafor. Beat him so quickly. And when you are drafted in the first round, you're supposed to beat the low man on the totem pole rookie Chin Okafor. I don't even know who that guy is. But when you beat him, you're supposed to beat him the right way, and that's what Nolan Smith did. I did hear Jordan Davis versus Landon Dickerson, about 700 pounds, banging against each other. Pause. And it kind of came to a stalemate. That's nothing bad on Jordan Davis because Landon Dickerson is one of the best right guards. He's not a right guard. One of the best left guards in the game, and he's definitely going to get recognized for it this year because he's about to show everybody. I think some PFF statistics and some certain analytics had him as the second best guard, but he's really going to come out and show it in 2023. Let's talk about the punt return, right? Because we need some highlight plays from our punt returner. Fun fact here, the last person to score a touchdown for the Eagles on special teams is, wait a minute, drum roll. Let me know if you know in the comment section. Jalen Reagor. He was the last one against the Packers, 2 years ago? 3 years ago? We need to get some contribution there, but let's look at it. Reports are that Covey looks better as a wide receiver, and this was the punt return order. Britton Covey, number 1. Greg Ward Jr., number 2. Olamide Zaccheaus, number 3, and Quez Watkins, 4. It's interesting that Olamide Zaccheaus jumps Quez Watkins on the punt return order, right? Could this be a thing that keeps Olamide Zaccheaus on the roster? Because once again, I heard that he was losing the battle between him and Ngata, right? Who had a nice catch today on one-on-ones. Olamide Zaccheaus gives you that special team relief, and he might be able to do something better than Britton Covey in that area. Now, look, Covey did not fumble. Safety is the most important thing back there, but I would like to see some contributions. He did have some nice returns, 15, 20 yards, nothing crazy. But it's interesting to say the least that Olamide Zaccheaus is a front of one Quez Watkins. So I think if you want to get him touches as the third wide receiver / force pass catcher because Goddard is ahead of him, get him the ball on special teams. Now, the safety position is quite interesting. Very interesting to me for the simple fact that Reed Blankenship has been the constant. A lot of different rotations at first team safety except for Reed Blankenship. He's been locked in with the starter so far. We've seen Reed and Terrell. We've seen Reed and Kavon. We've seen Reed and Sidney Brown. We've seen a multitude of different rotation, but Reed Blankenship, UDFA, 10 games under his belt, 4 starts, is the constant, which is interesting. Maybe because they want to get more look at him. Again, we gotta take this serious and not because it's only 4 days in. The joint practices are going to tell us more about a lot of these guys. Maybe they already believe Terrell Edmonds got the job and they want to see other people. I don't know. But today they did a lot of 3 safety looks. First time we saw 3 safety look in Sean Desai's system, mainly with the second team getting Sidney Brown, Kevon Wallace, and Justin Evans on the field. We didn't really see it too much with the first team, but with the second team, we saw that. And again, I like 3 safety looks. It kind of covers up the linebacking position. You have better cover guys on the field. I ain't opposed of it. 3 safety looks to me is the new way to go in the NFL. The new way to go. One of the safeties that got an interception today was Kevon Wallace. Again, the stock is rising for Kevon Wallace. I know a lot of you guys are never going to give him a chance, but I'm willing to do it, especially if he shows that he can play football. I thought he came up big at the end of the season in spot starts. Nothing crazy, but I did see improvement. Mariota intercepted by Kevon Wallace over the middle. Doesn't pick off Jalen Hurts because he got 0 interceptions, but he picks off Marcus Mariota. Interesting to say the least. And last but not least, I want to say this. The offense had to run a lap, and I show the skill position here just because that's a deadly skill position, right? When you talk about route running, strength, and speed. My goodness. Anyways, Elliott Shore Park says offense had to run a lap after losing the 11-11 period to the defense. But in his opinion, it wasn't the first team offense. And again, the defense has done good things throughout this camp. I think they won the first 2 days, and the offense won the second 2 days, right? Day 1 and 2 to the defense, day 3 and 4 to the offense. However, in Elliott Shore Park's mind, they lost. The offense lost because of the second and third team on offense. First team offense beat first team defense the majority of the time. And at the end of the day, guess who's my main concern? First team offense, because if everything goes according to plan, that's who's playing in the games. Now, before we get out of here, let me just show you this. For the people who do want to hear what Jalen Hurts has done since training camp begun, shout out to my guy Liam on Twitter. Again, follow him, follow me. We talk nonstop behind the scenes on Twitter, right? My DMs are always open as well. Jalen Hurts, since the training camp began, 50 for 60 completions, 4 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. Again, 50 of 60, 4 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. I think he only had 2 incompletions today. I think today was one of them days. Again, 2 touchdowns, 2 incompletions, threading a needle. And the crazy thing is, if you just count his statistics from yesterday and today, and the man was dang near perfect. I think it's 3 incompletes and 4 touchdowns. The first 2 days, and again, we don't know where they're actually working. Are they working from the 50-yard line? Are they working from the 20-yard line? How many goal line opportunities, red zones, right? Like, you're not really throwing many touchdowns from 30 yards out all the time, right? Especially if you're working on converting first downs. Who knows what scenarios these guys are being put in? Because we did hear the first touchdown of Devonta Smith was 3 yards out. Okay, cool. How many more opportunities do we get from 3 yards out, 10 yards out, 20 yards out, 30 yards out? But at the end of the day, this offense, as Jalen Hurts said, rain, sleet, snow, this offense is trained to go, is back in action. And again, the connection from one Jalen Hurts to A.J. Brown looks great. Again, before we get out of here, let's just play the deep ball again to Smitty. Hurts drops back, looking, has time. He throws it only where his man can get it. Smitty, back shoulder catch, beautifully done. Love that connection. And I love Smitty, homegrown talent. That's not to say I don't love A.J. Brown. He's still my dog, for real, for real. And let's look again. Pads on. This is how these guys came ready. A couple, running back drills. And look, they didn't take it easy on Hurts. They made Hurts run through the gauntlet of smacking the ball, trying to get the ball out of his hands. Again, he did fumble in the Super Bowl. That's not why we lost. It was a major blow, but that's not why we lost. but we can't have no more fumbles, no more craziness. Before we play that though, to head out, make sure you hit the like button for your boy. It's free. It's easy. Don't cost a thing. Subscribe, because we will be covering the Eagles in depth all through the seasons. When the season starts, we have our schedule. We do breakdowns, film, all 22, live streams, live play, pregame, previews, all that stuff. And, yeah, that's it. I don't know what I was going to say, honestly. Let's look at this before we get out of here. Nakobe Dean, Landon Dickerson, Jalen Hurts, first day of school. Again, this is from the Eagles social media on Twitter. They do a great job. Follow the Eagles. I mean, if you're following me on Twitter, you follow the Eagles. If you're on Twitter, you're following the Eagles. But again, running through the gauntlet, no fumbles. Nakobe Dean, look at the pursuit attack. I love that. It's just good to see him in pads, right? They first were running on shorts and OTAs. Then they were running with the jersey on and the jersey pants on. Now they got the pads on. It's just beginning to look a lot like football season. Y'all thought I was going to say Christmas. It is Christmas to me. Leave your thoughts in the comment section. Drop the muscle emoji if you got nothing to say. Muscle gang, y'all been showing out. Continue to show it in the chat, and I'll catch y'all on the next one. Peace.